everybody. I'm Katie.
I'm Becky, and this is Live, Laugh, Lorcana. Can I actually tell you a story real fast?
Please.
Okay. Well, it's not really a story, but it's something I didn't mention last episode. Do you remember the second set championship we did, where we were playing the deck swap,
Yes.
and the guy who I lost to like last round, you were sitting
hmm
next to me. He ended up winning the whole tournament. Love that. Interestingly, we have starter deck tournament coming up Friday, and I remembered last starter deck tournament, I also played against this person. And he was just like, because I remember talking to him because he had like a really interesting tattoos. And I remember him telling me, like, oh, I'm a magic guy. Yeah, like I just thought I'd like see how this game is and blah blah blah. And he was like super nice. But when I played him in set championship, I mean he won. Also, he was like rocking, four enchanted Mauis, four enchanted Lady Tremaines, and like all this stuff. And I'm just like, was was it a ringer situation? Was he lying to me? Or did he really just spend a month grinding? So it was interesting.
I think he hard committed. Yeah, I guess. You think he lied to you during the starter tech tournament?
I don't know why he won.
Oh my gosh. That is a crazy thing to accuse him of. Hmm.
But everybody there seemed to know him, so I don't know.
I recognized him. I had seen him before for sure. He's a really nice guy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And a very good player.
Yeah.
Um, Also a liar. So
Um, I'll do a quick anecdote too.
yeah.
My husband was listening to our podcast from last week, and last week you said it would be great for you and me to do casting together. And Josh was like, that is the worst idea I've ever heard because you guys would just laugh the whole time and get so distracted.
No, we can put on our professional pants and do a good job.
Yeah, but it does remind me of like when we decided it would be a good idea to take a yoga class together.
Oh no.
And the first time we learned how to do the pose, happy baby, Becky and I just started laughing and we could not stop. Every time one of us would get it under control and then the other one would laugh. And I can't believe they didn't throw us out of that yoga class.
It was Easter service all over again.
I know. Yeah, I remember when our parents almost murdered us in church.
Yeah. It just happens sometimes. Okay, I had really struggled with that yoga class. Well, there was a gentleman who always sat or stood or posed next to me, and he would make the old manest noises anybody's ever made the entire time. And I'm just like, I'm trying to be zen here. Can you go grunt somewhere else?
You're best doing yoga at home, I think, Becky.
Yeah, I don't think a class is for me. That's fine. Wow. Ugh, good times. Yeah, we are pretty silly. But we're still gonna try it.
Well, I don't want to cast, but
I know, but you're gonna help me try it.
or we could get you like a real casting co-host.
Like who?
I don't know, somebody else who wants to practice casting because they want to cast.
Yeah.
So, when you are listening to this, I will be in Disney World, so we are recording very far in advance.
We had a fantastic interview we recorded with Dana from Inkwell Gamers. And this is the interview with Dana. Today, we are joined with Dana from the Inkwell Gamers. We have been fans of Dana for a very long time, so we're so excited to finally sit down and talk with her.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here.
I am honored.
So, our first question we always ask guests is, what is your background in Disney? What's your background in TCGs? And how did you get into Lorcana?
Yeah, so as far as Disney goes, I grew up a huge Disney kid. We had like all the VHSs. Every time I was like sick from school and stayed home, it was like Disney all day. And so yeah, so I've always been a huge Disney kid, especially the princesses. I had like a princess room growing up, of course. So and then as far as TCGs go, I have been somewhat new into them. So when Dalton and I first started dating, it was during our college years, and he played this game called Magic. And it was like, oh, that's something that I don't mind learning because it's something that we could do together. And so I did try that, and it just wasn't really for me. I tried it on and off for many years. I went to probably like one or two pre-releases and a draft night. And so I haven't really been like competitive with it. But then I was like, you know what? We love Pokemon, especially playing like the VGCs. So why don't we just start playing Pokemon? And he had some cards already from when I was a kid. So we just bought a couple like pre-cons and just would play around the kitchen table. And it was a little bit easier for me to connect to that because of that like emotional connection to the game, opposed to Magic. It was just, I don't know, I just didn't have that draw. And then last year we heard that Disney was coming out with their own version. And so we were really excited for it and blessed that we actually live in Indiana. So we were like, let's go to Gen Con. And it was my first time at Gen Con, and it was just great to soak in and see the chaos and everything. And
Oh my gosh, wait, I didn't realize you went to Gen Con. I have to stop and ask you about that.
yeah. Sorry, I was just ranting.
No,
Stop
no.
me at any time.
Were you in like the crazy line that first day? Chaos?
Not the first day.
Okay.
We were planning on going day 2.
Mhm.
And after seeing the chaos of day 1 and how they wouldn't let people into the building, so they were just kind of like piling out. And then once the doors opened, people, I'm sure you saw like the videos, people were just like running, and it was just chaos. So we were like, okay, let's go to bed early and prepare to get there even earlier than what some of those people were saying they got there for. So we like took melatonin to like try to fall asleep early. And we're just like scrolling and see an announcement that they were allowing people to line up in a more constructed, organized way within the building. So we were like, let's just do it. So we got up and got in line and never really fell asleep after that, which was really hard considering we took melatonin. But yeah, so we pulled basically an all-nighter in line, and it was much more organized the next day, I will say. So it was worth it. It was almost like a thrill because, I mean, I feel like when you get to a certain age, you like don't do anything spontaneous as like that anymore. And so it was like, I don't know, it was fun. At least it was our version of spontaneity.
Were you able to get everything then?
Oh yeah. And we actually pulled a bell enchanted from the stuff that we got that day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
so
Awesome.
yeah, it was actually because our plan was, okay, we'll each get one of everything, and then we'll keep, one person's stuff sealed and then one open the others. And so that means we each got a booster box, and we just couldn't be patient enough. And we opened the second one, and it was in the second one. So I'm kind of glad that we did that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, always open your stuff.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Did you actually get to play in the tournament at Gen Con?
No. So we didn't get to sign up for those events in time. So our plan is to sign up for them this year, and as well as Villainous too, because we really like Villainous. But I almost kind of am glad that we didn't do anything and we just got the opportunity to like walk around and see everything. Cause with it being my first time, like I just needed to get my bearings. And then now this year I'm like, all right, going in with a action plan we're going to sign up for as many events as we can and yada, yada, yada. So we'll see.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How cool.
Have you guys been to Gen Con at all?
No. Mm-mm.
Where are you?
We're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Well, you'll have to check out one of these years.
It's not that far. I was actually there for a Flesh and Blood tournament not long ago. So it's like, I think it's a 5.5 hour drive for us, which isn't bad. So
yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Not at all. Are you going to any Lorcana challenges?
Yes. So we're going to Atlanta, and then we also got into Chicago too. So
We're going to be in Chicago.
we should get together.
Please. I would love that.
I think that's one of the things that I'm most excited about too, because it's like, I try to be realistic with myself. I'm not probably going to make it to day 2. So I'm just there to like have a good time, and maybe do all of like the other side event stuff if once I get eliminated. But that's the thing I'm most excited about, is just connecting with all of these other content creators online that we constantly talk to and we've never met in person before. So it'll be a lot of fun. We should get together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that would be a ton of fun. I'm still on the wait list, so I'm going to be doing side events.
Dang, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It kind of, when you were talking about Gen Con, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm totally fine with just going and absorbing the atmosphere, and like, I'm fine with that. No
Yes.
problem.
Yes. I'm really excited to see how they're going to do the site events. I'm very intrigued if they're going to do any like multiplayer games. I would totally be down to do that too. I think that would be a lot of fun. So we'll see.
We saw they posted Atlanta's schedule for the side events, and they are having multiplayer. So
Did they do that this week? I feel like I've seen something, but I haven't read it because I feel like just work's been chaotic. So I feel like I'm so behind on Lorcana news.
totally fair. I just saw it this morning. Somebody
Yeah.
posted it in our discourse. It's like,
Okay,
oh,
so I'm not
cool.
too far, but it's not like it's last week or something.
No, we've all known about it, Dana. Come on.
So behind.
You haven't been on your phone every minute of every day.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like with the chaos of all the cards getting revealed too, it's like, I will admit that I have not been able to sit down and really look at all of them. It's like a quick like artwork and like, okay, I'll look at that later. And then all of a sudden I go and it's like catching up on like 50 of them. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, Katie
Girl.
texted me earlier today. She's like, Becky, you're in charge of set 4 because I have not looked at the cards from last night. And I'm like, totally fair.
And like the 50 cards before that, I haven't even looked at. Like, work has been so crazy. Like, So I'm actually going to Disney World next week.
That's awesome.
But I'm just in the lines going to be reading cards because, like, honestly, I haven't read half of them yet. So
Well, that'll be the perfect time too, because it's like, what else would you do in line? So that's like, that's perfect. And it's like you're in the atmosphere of the Disney magic, right?
Well, that's the other thing you mentioned about like not feeling the connection with Magic, because Katie was a Flesh and Blood player and she like gave me a deck and I'm like, I don't know who these characters are. Like, I'm not invested in them. I do not care. Where it's like the Disney and the Pokemon, it's like, I know these, I care about them.
Yes.
I've known them my entire life.
Yeah. So it's like that emotional connection, but also I think what really caused me to just like jump on the ground running is that, like, of course, like with Pokemon, like everybody knows the Pokemon, right? But like as far as the cards go, they have so many different versions of like this specific card has like these moves with like that many hit points or whatever. And it's like there's so many that have been printed. I felt very far behind. But with Lorcana, with it being such a new game, I was able to like jump in at ground zero. And it's been a lot easier to keep up because I'm now only having to learn X amount of cards per set, opposed to having to learn years and years and years and years of Pokemon cards or Magic cards or whatever.
Yeah, it's like when you start a game like that, it's like you're starting like season 6 on a TV show and you're like, everybody else knows this. I don't.
Yes, that is it. That's actually the perfect way to describe that too.
Yeah.
And it's so true. And you're
Yes.
just like, I'm just gonna go along and like hope I understand the references.
And we've been with Lorcana since the pilot, so we got this.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you consider yourself a casual or a competitive player, and has that shifted over time?
I feel like throughout I have been trying to set my course, as a competitive player. Now, whether I was competing well, probably not, but my goal was to be as competitive as possible. But I think I now have a time and a place where I want to be that. So our league is very casual. It's a lot of fun. Like we have recently built like movie themed decks. So you can choose whatever, like use all the colors and then just choose one movie. So like we do stuff like that. So I feel like I kind of switch back and forth, but overall I do try to be competitive because I feel like that's just in my nature too. Like I played sports growing up and I played a college sport too. So I'm a very competitive person. And it kind of just, once I graduated and I didn't play my sport anymore, it was like, what do I do? Like, I don't have this competitive drive I'm feeding anymore. So this kind of took the place of that. And although I'm not experienced in competitive TCGs, I'm trying to get in that mindset. And it's like you got to almost think a certain way too. And I'm trying to learn how to think like that.
That's a really fair point. And a really see, because you're saying like you want to feed that competitive spirit, but I also think it's like very important and special for you to be able to still do those like movie decks and stuff that keeps it like kind of fun without it being like a total grind.
Yes. And I think that has been key is because, especially around like this time where we had this at championships. I mean, I don't know how many you guys went to, but we tried to go to as many as we could every weekend with the exception of Fridays, but we went to 4 total and it was such a grind and you're practicing for it too. So we were doing Pixelborn during the week. And so it's like, I'm using that same deck and I'm just trying to master it. And it almost is nice to then go to league after and just play cards that I think are fun and I love the artwork or I love the character, but they might not see competitive play. But it's like, I want to be able to like slap down in a boo or whatever, So that has been, it's nice to give yourself a break. You don't always have to be in that mindset. It's okay to have fun and like play a deck that might not win every game, but it has cards that has characters that are your favorite or whatever. So yeah, I think that's key.
Yeah,
totally. Can I ask what your movie theme deck is?
It's Aladdin.
Mm.
Yes. So I was torn between Aladdin or like Beauty and the Beast because I wanted to play like Cogsworth and the Belle and Gaston, but I think I settled on Aladdin just because I got to still do like a Jafar Whole New World. Although it's not,
I didn't even think of that till you said it, but yes.
Although I will say I have only done that once and I don't even think I still won that game. So like, it's not like it's not like a deck that is still like the competitive tournament one. Like it still was pretty mid to play.
That's awesome though. What is Dalton's movie theme deck?
So he hasn't made one yet. He actually, that was the first day that we tested them out. It was a day after we also did a pack tournament on that Saturday and then league was on that Sunday. And he didn't necessarily have the results that he wanted. He was just like brain fried. And so I was like, I'll go to league. And he just wanted to stay home. So he doesn't have one yet, but I'll have to ask him what one he would choose because I don't know what he would choose. I feel like he would want Aladdin, but I'm not going to give that up.
No.
Yeah.
I just had to ask because I'd never heard of a league doing that before, but that sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Katie, have you thought of what a movie deck you would do?
My first thought is Frozen.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
you get the Elsas, you get the Hans. Pretty good.
I was just thinking after this new set comes out, Hercules is probably what I would want to do. You got your Pain and Panic synergies, your Titan synergies. You got some really juicy stuff in there. I think that would be fun.
Yeah. So the Titans are actually pretty fun too because before we implemented doing like an all color movie deck, I just wanted to try and find like another fun deck to do for League. So I put together a deck where it was still like 2 colors only, but I used 2 movies. And so I did Sleeping Beauty and Hercules. So I had like all the Titans in there and they're actually like, they're a lot of fun to play. So I could definitely see that being a cool deck for you to pick up.
I'll have to try it out.
Yes.
So we touched vaguely on set championships. So let's talk about how it went. Did you have any highlights?
I will admit I went in with like really low expectations for myself. I feel like I set the bar really low. So it's kind of easy for me to at least like hit my goal. And so I went in and I just wanted to like win a match. And so the first Saturday that we went, I actually went undefeated in Swiss.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, what? Is this a fluke? And I did unfortunately lose in the first round of top 8, but I was like going through it and not even realizing it. So every time like a round would end, we had some friends there too, and they'd be like, "Oh, nice job." I'm like, "Thanks." And then all of a sudden after Swiss, they're like, "All right." And they like said the seating and everything. I was like, "Holy crap." Like, really? So I was really shocked and proud of myself. And then the next day, I don't really remember what I did. I definitely did not make top cut, but I won a random drawing that they did for like a Hades mat. And so I was like, hey, I'm still a winner.
Ooh,
Like I won
nice.
something today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was how our week 1 went. And then week 2, I also went undefeated in Swiss on that Saturday. And I'm like, okay, this was a little bit more of a validation for me that last week wasn't a fluke. And because I almost had imposter syndrome after that. And I know that like I'm not the worst player, but I know I'm also not the best. And so it kind of was like proving to me that, okay, I'm improving. Like I'm not going to probably win this. I'm probably not even going to get second place or third or fourth or whatever. But like it was proving, I was proving to myself that I was improving and growing as a player. So that was pretty cool. And then yeah, Sunday just kind of mid as well as the previous Sunday. So I don't know if it was a pattern that I was just on a roll on Saturday and then come Sunday I was just mentally fried or what, but because it's a marathon.
That's a really good point. Like, I mean, because you work all week and then you play all day Saturday, like Sunday, you're tired.
Right. And I think though it was at least a good insight into for maybe people who haven't done something like that before too, and they plan on going to Atlanta or Chicago or any of the other ones. Like it was almost like a good test because I feel like a lot of people try to get into multiple ones in those 2 weekends. And so it's like nice to get a gauge for what that grind 2 days in a row feels like. Even if you don't necessarily make it to Sunday within the tournament, but if you plan on doing games, like you at least know kind of how tiring it's going to be and how tired you might be going into Sunday. But I mean, I'm still going to do it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So
I was going to ask, next set championship, will you try to do 4 again, like 2 and 2?
I think so. Yeah. Especially because with Ursula being the prize, I was like, yeah, I want that for sure. I mean, I might get people coming at me for this, but I think Stitch is a cool character, but I'm not like, oh my God, Stitch. Like I think some people are because I definitely get that vibe where people are like, Stitch is the best. And I'm like, he's fine.
Yeah.
Right. But like when I saw that Ursula was the next one, I'm like, oh my gosh, I about lost my crap.
Right?
Yeah.
My husband is an Ursula super fan. He loves Ursula. And my husband does not play Lorcana, but
Mhm.
he showed us to me and he's like, Becky, can we train? Are we gonna train for set championships? Let's start training now. And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
we'll see.
So is he gonna plan on playing so he can try?
I mean, I'll see if he likes it. He's not played it before, but if
Yeah.
nothing else, I'll try to win one for the family.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Yeah, because with so Dalton had gotten twice. He had gotten second and then he had won one. But I was like, so you're gonna share your mats, right? Because like what's yours is mine and mine is yours. And he's like, just not my championship one, but you can have the second place ones. I was like, deal, that's fine.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, you should totally get him to get into it. I feel like this is a game where you're seeing a lot of couples doing it together. And I think you get a mixture of both couples who both of them, it might be their first TCG, but I think the majority of them is like one partner is doing TCGs previously, and then this is the way that the other spouse kind of gets in and how they can hang out and connect.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's definitely like a gateway. Like you can just keep bringing in people, bringing in friends and family. Yeah.
That was our sister story.
Yeah, that's why
Love
I'm
it.
here. Katie dragged me.
Yes. Love it. And I notice I'm definitely seeing like our eldest nieces, like they're starting to be intrigued. Like, because when they come over and we have our enchanteds in like little display cases. And so they're like, ooh, what's that? And then now when we're with them, they're like, will you show us the cards? And then so we pull up the app and they're like, what are the aerial cards look like? So like we show, so like they're starting to get into that too. I'm like, yes.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a way for people to like connect. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and then the art is amazing too. Like, even if they don't understand what the card does or anything like that, just seeing beloved Disney characters take on new forms in ways that they've never seen before, like, it's intriguing to look at just for the art itself. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, one of my favorite cards coming out is Aerial Sonic Warrior. Like, that's badass. Sorry, I don't know if I could cuss. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay. My bad. But yeah, like it's sweet art.
So
And
good.
it's cool to see like people even get to experience their favorite characters in different forms like that. So that's what I love about it too.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. That's especially stuff like Ariel Sonic Warrior and like Cinderella Stout Hearted. And I
Oh my God.
love seeing like another side of like these princesses who've kind of like been portrayed as kind of soft or whatever. And it's just like, no, they're so cool.
They're like battle warriors, and I'm
Obsessed.
here for it.
I
Yeah.
know. I want to cosplay so bad as
You
one of
should.
them.
You should. I forgot who it was, but I did see someone doing like the Belle Archer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, our friend Rebecca did that. It was just so cool.
Yeah. It would be, yeah, that would be fun. What would you cosplay as?
I don't know. I have so many that I want to do. I always come back to Cinderella Stout-Hearted though.
Oh yeah.
I used to do cosplay back in the day, and I do know how to make like foam armor. So it's like, how could I not?
Yeah, you totally should. Totally should.
You
Yeah.
sold me. I'm doing it. Katie, you want to be Cinderella? We could do it together.
I am excited by the idea of foam armor, but we'll talk.
Okay. Okay.
I am excited to see, I hope that people do cosplay for the challenge events.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I hope so.
Yeah. Did anybody do it for the set championships that you went to?
No.
No one? There was
Mm-mm.
one person that came as Aladdin, and I was like, that's cool. They even had like a little Abu.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cute.
I just wish
Love
more
that.
people would do that. I always try to wear like a Disney shirt, but
Yeah.
I need to just commit. I think the
Commit.
thing is there are so many good ones that I wouldn't even know what to decide.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard.
It is hard. Yeah. But no, you guys totally should. And then if you do, I'll try to come up with something too. Maybe we could do it for
Yay.
Chicago.
Ooh.
We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it.
We'll get there.
Anyway, so you've been creating content for a long time with Lorcana since the game
Mhm.
started. So tell us about your podcast, the Inkwell Gamers.
Yes. So my husband and I have the Inkwell Gamers podcast, and we try to have like a competitive mindedness to it. So we talk about the different deck archetypes or deck building strategies, or every time a new set comes out, we try to do a set review. So we have like certain parameters assigned to like a letter grade, and then we'll go through the cards and say what we think our grade is and why we would grade it like that. And so we try to do that. And even with new sets coming out with the starter deck, we'll kind of give our review for how we feel like the starter decks as is play, and then what maybe budget upgrades we would give to it, and then what maybe competitive non-budget upgrades we would give to it. So we try to do that like with each set, and then talk about our tournament experience everywhere in between. And that is pretty much what we really like to talk about.
I love your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
You were one of our first featured creators on our show. I was so excited to find your podcast. And it's like great to just like check in with you guys like every week because you're doing so much in Lorcana and like you guys have done like a lot of 1Ks and so many different events and it's always just like fun hearing your journeys and the decks you're building. You were playing Emerald Steel during set championships, as was I. So it was really fun to like hear you iterate on that deck and the changes you were making to that. So
Yes, thank you guys so much. Yeah, it's been a blast to be like so quickly accepted into the content creator community because I feel like there were already a couple that were established and I like you guys were one of the first ones too and I feel like we all kind of started this journey similar like around the same time and it's been a lot of fun like you said checking in with each other too and seeing what everybody's up to and I think even with the newer content creators that are coming in, one of the best parts is how like welcoming and friendly that community is. It's like people don't see you as competition, but rather like you have your niche thing, I have my niche thing, they have their niche thing. And but like we're all for the love of the game. And we might overlap in some topics, but like we still are, supportive of one another and like cheer each other up and like shout out to other ones and it's really cool that that's the kind of community that we have as content creators so it's been a lot of fun. Yeah,
Absolutely. Have you or Dalton done content creation before, Lorcana?
no,
Okay.
This is our very first time. Yeah.
what made you guys want to start yours?
I feel like we always kind of like joked about it, but then it kind of got to the point where it was like we were joking so much about it. We're like, wait, are you serious now? Yeah. And I think a huge part of that was since it was my first time really trying to be competitive, and I knew that he had a lot of like years of experience with Magic that I was trying to learn a lot of information from him. So we were having like a lot of really good conversations about like what you should be considering on your turn and or what your partner's doing and how that might be a little indication of what you should do or whatever. Like we were having a lot of conversations like that and how to mulligan or what to look for that I'm like, I find this really helpful. Like, why don't we start sharing this? Because with this being a game a lot of new people are getting into, they might find it beneficial. I don't know if they would like hearing from us, but maybe they would like it. So then we're like, let's just do it. So we went in with like no expectations except just to crack a mic and start talking. And if like one person listened, then hey, like that was a success for us because we weren't trying to like get famous or anything, right? Like we just wanted to have fun and just talk with each other, but with also other people. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That makes me really happy.
Thank you. I feel like we talk about this a lot and I don't know if you guys experience too, but it's hard to keep up with. Like it's pretty exhausting.
Yeah.
And so we talk about it all the time. Like I know deep down, we probably should be more like we should probably like post more and do more videos and be more active in our Discord. Like we made a Discord and we're pretty much like not active in it. And we probably need to pick that back up, but it's almost so exhausting to try to do a bunch of things that, and I think that's why we still are trying to say like, it's like, this is just a hobby we're just doing for fun. And like, if we get more followers, like that's obviously awesome, but it's really hard to like grind to try to like build up your followers by a lot or whatever. And so that's, I think, been the biggest struggle as a content creator is just like constantly getting content ready to post all the time. And I know we could be doing a better job about that, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
You guys are more consistent than us.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, but I think the thing that we should just be doing is just giving ourselves grace. Like, of course, in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, we should be doing this. We should be doing that. But it's like, we're all not doing this. It's not like we're doing this full time. We all have jobs. So like, I have to keep reminding myself, give myself grace, and just, if doesn't get posted on the day I want it to get posted, it's okay. You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that like it could be a full-time job. This is something like you could do full-time and be busy. And it's just
Yes.
I'm so impressed that people like find the time to do this sort of thing because it's a lot,
It
you know.
is. Yeah.
You really have to want to.
Yes, absolutely. Because I mean, like, there's the planning, even if we just look at like just the podcast episodes in general, there's the planning, and then you record, and then you edit. And it's like each of those things take at least an hour each, if not more. Like, I know for us, like with editing, I edit our audio, and I mean, a half-hour episode could take me like 2 hours or something ridiculous like that. And it's like, man, when do I have the time? And so it's hard to try and say, okay, I have to edit, I have to get it out. But yeah, we'll get there. I mean, we're doing it. We're here. You guys are here. We're here.
We're all here.
We're all here. Yes.
So do you have any advice for aspiring content creators?
Ooh. I think in addition to the giving yourself grace, don't try to spread yourself so thin. I think that was our biggest mistake at first, because we were like, okay, we want to do a weekly podcast episode. And then we wanted to stream Pixelborn. And so we were doing that too, for a while. And then we were also wanting to post on social media like every other day or every day. And so I had it like planned out. Okay, like Monday, I'm going to post this. Tuesday, I'm going to post this. And it was to the point where I was starting to burn out. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to not do something Lorcana related anymore. So we have to start cutting back for what we think we enjoy the most. And so we pretty much kind of cut back with the whole streaming part. Dalton does still stream like the pack tournaments when he does those, but it's not like we're like, all right, going live tonight, and then we're on for like 4 hours, because all of that combined was a lot. And so I felt like we were stretching ourselves very thin. And so I would recommend, don't do that if you're planning on doing that. Just pick something that you feel like is your niche and that you enjoy the most. And for us, it was our podcast episodes. So we kind of stuck to.
That's really good advice. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What's our niche, Katie?
The podcast. I think we've talked so many times about doing reels and like, yeah, it's just.
Those are tiring too. Like, I know like Rebecca, she's such a great content creator with the reels. I'm like, that I know, even though it's such a short video, I know that took you a long time to do.
Yes.
A lot of start, stop, pushing, like mushing it together. And yeah, so
she makes it look effortless when it is definitely not at all. Like, we've tried. It's like, no, this is awful. Like, it's so much work.
Yes, we so for set 1, we tried doing reels, but just like for pack openings too. And I'm like all I'm doing is showing my hands, and I'm like, this is so much. Like, just the editing of the video, I just can't, and like the music and stuff, like I can't take it.
Yeah. Oh, incredible.
Yeah. Yes, my hat's off to her and anybody else that does the reels, because yeah, it's a lot.
For sure. So we have Ursula's return coming soon. Do you have plans for release weekend?
Yes. So we actually just placed our pre-order with our LGS today. And so I'm very excited. He unfortunately did not get as many of the troves and like the quest boxes as he had wanted. And he only got like one of each mat, which is ridiculous. So there's like a group of us that are the consistent league attendees. And so he was like, all right, who wants what? Is it okay if I take the people that want this and kind of put them in a lottery, and then take that? And then if you want it, great. And if that's not the item, then you can pass on it for someone else or whatever to get. So I was like, that is probably the best thing that you could do, because I don't know how else I would have done that as the LGS owner, that, you have all these people that come consistently, and it's hard to say like, okay, like first come, first serve for the Tink mat, and everybody's working today. So it's like, and sorry, I just kind of went on a side tangent
No,
there.
it's perfect.
But yeah, so we pre-ordered. I actually work half days on Friday, so I'm really blessed about that. And I am going to book it there and get all this stuff. And I'm trying to convince Dalton to take the day off too, so then we can just start like playing right away. Because I want to dig into the quest game. Like I'm ready for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Well, Katie will be in Disney World.
I will
That's
be.
right.
So I'm flying Southwest. You get 2 free luggage. So I'm bringing an empty suitcase and going to Disney Springs because they have they had everything last time. They had all the mats. They had troves. I assume they're gonna have quests. Like I think they'll have everything but booster boxes. So I'm getting stuff.
Yeah, I totally would too. That's smart to take an empty suitcase. I love that. Love that.
So cool. I'm going to be doing a starter deck tournament on the 1st on that Friday, which I always do, and I also pre-ordered a box, so I'm going to get those things, which will be fun. And then cracking them open, going to see what else. Yeah, I think the starter deck events are underrated. I think it's really fun. It's a great way to get like a really cohesive like set of cards. And usually, at least like Into the Inklands, the last set, it just felt like I had no idea how locations were going to work. So it was like nice to have something where they're already in it. They're kind of have a synergy, and I could like easily just like figure out. So new dynamics and stuff. I always get really excited when they're in there. It's a very easy way to learn for me.
Yes. What do you guys think of the new like singing together, or even I guess I have 2, the singing together part and then the different way to pay for a shift. How do you feel about those?
I don't see me ever doing singing together. But it's really a fun idea.
I know. It's very Disney-esque. Like
so much, yeah.
Yeah. Cue the chorus of people singing the same song. I always like laugh at that with movies too. Like it seems as though like a character is starting to sing a song and then everybody else like joins in. Like, how do you know the words? But like I'm such a like critic like that with movies.
You can't suspend belief for it.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel the same way too about that. I feel like I probably won't see myself using this thing together. I think especially as I feel like I'm pretty much staying in Emerald with something else player. And Emerald tends to have really vulnerable characters that sometimes they do something like Prince John. If I'm playing him, unless I absolutely have to, or there's no threat, like he's staying unexerted the whole time so he can do his thing, right?
He doesn't have time to sing a song.
He doesn't have time to sing. No. And so I feel like with how squishy a lot of my characters are, I don't want to put a lot of them up to just being susceptible to just getting wiped. Yeah. Especially with characters like Scar too. I mean, I've been a victim of Scar coming in and just all like 3 or 4 of my characters, and it hurts. So
I don't see using like the Sing Together a ton in competitive, but just like going back to the movie deck, now I want to build a Little Mermaid one because like the Ariels all have like, higher singers, and then you could put Under the Sea in there. So maybe for a movie themed deck, that'd be fun.
Yes, that's a good point. Like, and I think that's like another reason why having a option of doing decks like that too are fun, because you get to maybe do a mechanic or play a character that you might not do otherwise. And so that's like the perfect opportunity to like experiment like that. So that'll be really intriguing. I am very interested in the whole paying for shifts in a different way.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely going to see a lot more happen per turn, because you're not putting all your ink for your shift. You can do something to shift and then you still have all your ink to do whatever else. And so I think I'm really interested to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, for sure.
So, are you guys going to do the quest? Or are you kind of co-op game type of people? that you would do that?
Oh, we're definitely doing quests. I eventually want to get like our parents to play it with us, but just to get through the spoilers, because it's like we need to see the end of the story. So we'll try and do it quickly.
Yeah. I feel like it's hard because it's like as content creators, like you want to be in the know all the time. So you're wanting to like stay on social media to get the news and the updates and stuff. But I think release day, I'm staying off. Like people will not be hearing from us probably because I like don't want it to be spoiled for me.
Especially because nobody is getting them because no LGSs have them.
I forgot about that.
So ours got, I think, either 3 or 4 of those. And luckily we were part of the lottery part that got to have one of the 4. So I'm like, yes, like that's nice. All I wanted, honestly. I mean, maybe the Tink mat. Yeah, I did want the Tink mat. Like, how could you not, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like the quest is like my number one thing, like must have. So I'm really glad that we got lucked out and got it. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of Ursula's return, we can answer these questions. I know we haven't had a lot of chance to look at cards, but maybe we'll do a couple. Is there any cards in Ursula's return you're really excited about because of the art or the theming?
So mainly the Enchanted Ursula. I think that artwork is something that like my jaw dropped for. I was like, oh, because I'm not trying to like rip on any previous sets, but I feel like this set's Enchanted artwork is like everything is just mind blowing. I think there were some good ones last set, but there were also some Enchanteds where I'm like, I feel like if I would pull that, I would be excited I got an Enchanted, but I would be kind of disappointed that that was the Enchanted I got.
Yeah.
Like, this one, I'm like, man, there's a lot of good ones. And then especially Ursula, that one is just, yeah, I like gasped when I saw it. But
absolutely.
How about you guys?
I am also a sucker for Enchanteds. I have my eyes on that Jasmine. She's everything. I love her so much. And the mini Musketeers. I love the new Musketeer cards. I would really like to build something with that.
Yes.
And ever since set 1 where we had Hades, King of Olympus, like who was the only Amber villain, and slowly but surely we are making our way with more Amber villains. So my Amber and Sapphire villains deck is going to happen.
Love it. Yes, I am excited to see more tribal decks like that happen, like the villains and the Musketeers. I will admit, I've never seen the Disney version of the Three Musketeers, so I feel really bad for being a Disney fan and not seeing that, but I'm not sure if they're Musketeers in the movie, but the fact that Daisy and Minnie are, I'm like, female Musketeers. Heck yeah. Love it.
I don't know if you remember first set, but there's Princess Minnie. She's from the Musketeers. That's her role in the Musketeers.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I love the whole like warrior. I can fight myself.
I do too. And like Daisy's a spy. Well, she's a spy in like the Emerald card she's in. And like, is that a thing Daisy does? I don't know, but I love it.
I know. Me too. Like, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm here for it.
Assassin's Creed Daisy, I'm here for it.
Love it. Love it. Oh my gosh. Do you play Assassin's Creed, by the way?
I only played Black Flag.
Okay. I played oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it now. But the one where they're like in France during like the French Revolution. And like you get to like solve there's like puzzles and stuff too. I was like totally into that. But that's like the one I played.
It's a good game. They're cool games.
It is pretty cool. Yeah. Climbing up walls like thousands and thousands of feet.
It's like, yes, it's like Spider-Man, but different.
Yes. No, yeah. I think that's one of the things I've been enjoying the most about Lorcana too is like, again, going back to seeing your favorite Disney characters reimagined, but seeing so many of the ones that you said are normally portrayed as the soft, like princess damsel in distress kind of thing. And now it's like they're fighting too, and they're strong and empowered. And I think that especially as a female in TCGs, like I love to see that. It's like I know that we get like the princess mini and like their classic forms, but like it's not just that. And I think that's really important.
For sure. I used to play League of Legends, and I only played badass women characters because I'm a badass woman. And so I feel like the same with Lorcana.
Love it.
I'm a badass woman playing with badass women. That is what I do.
Love it. Love it. I know. And I feel like it's going to be really interesting to see if little girls who are playing the game, if they would pick up on that and maybe seeing like, I want to be like Cinderella stout-hearted, not like the Cinderella ballroom sensation. Like maybe they want that too, but like, I'm interested to see if they're going to like,
you can be both. And that's great.
Yes. Yeah. Kind of giving them a little bit of something to look up to too,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Love it.
The other thing I'm really excited about art perspective is they're really doing a lot of those cards that line up, like their backgrounds line up. Cause like, I don't know if you saw like the Imperial soldiers from Mulan, like those line up, but then my favorite is the Jack and Gus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I haven't seen the Imperial soldier one yet, so I'll have to go and check that one out. I have seen the mice, but I think the one that is my favorite is the Prince Eric and Ursula.
And Vanessa, yeah.
So
good.
I know.
And it's like, the two cards like tell a story. Like they're kind of just it's so good. It's so good.
I know. I love it. Do we recall any other, aside from this last set with the dwarves? I feel like, unless I'm wrong, that might have been, was that the first time that they did that with artwork and lining up?
I feel like the dwarves was the first one. And then last set, wasn't there like the Peter Pan and Hook ones fit together?
Ooh, yes. I don't know.
I think so. The Ruby ones.
I would love for them to lean into that because it's so fun.
It is. And kudos to like the people that see those and automatically like think, oh, that actually will line up with this one. Like I'm not like, I need people to call that out for me.
Yeah, my brain could never.
Right. Right. Yes.
I feel like every set, the art just keeps stepping up. It's
for
really,
real.
really cool.
This one's like mind blowing.
Yeah, really good art.
Yeah, I know. I'm really excited for it. Do you guys have a favorite of all time that is your favorite artwork?
Well, until this set, it was the Ursula Deceiver of All Enchanted. Mm-hmm. But I need to look over the fourth set and decide.
So same thing with the whole, I need to look over this set, but it was the giant Tink Enchanted where she's like holding the ship in her hand.
Nice.
So cute.
Yes.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, me too.
I think the Arthur Enchanted from set 2 might be my favorite art. It's so good.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And I was like looking on TCG Player the other day and it's like $90. And I'm like, that's nothing. I should just buy it for myself for Mother's Day.
Yes. Treat yourself.
Yeah. My day. I can have all the Arthurs I want.
Yeah. So we were really lucky and also pulled an enchanted for set 2, but we never got to pull one for set 3. And so we kept saying like, okay, let's try one more time. And Dalton's like, for the price that we have been putting, we could have just straight up bought whichever one you wanted. Like, because we're just keep dropping money on boxes with no guarantee that you're going to get one. I'm like, I know, but it's the fun of the pull. Like
100%.
Yeah, of course. Like,
no, I'm totally with you.
Of course I want to open it myself. And yeah. So I don't know.
Totally with you. Well, it was funny. The only enchanted we pulled from this set was Cusco's Palace.
Nice.
I was just like, oh.
Yep. I know. And again, like it's hard because like I don't want to rip on it, but I just feel like the the locations and the items that are enchanted now, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm kind of with
like,
you. If they scrap that, I'd be fine with it.
yeah, I'd rather have just straight
Yeah.
characters.
Although, like, Along Came Zeus, I thought was really
Yeah.
good, and the new
Yes.
one that
We don't talk about Bruno. I like
yeah,
that. That one's pretty
Songs
good.
are okay, so.
songs are okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, it's still really early, but does anybody have any cards from the set that you're excited to start building with?
I just mentioned it, though. We don't talk about Bruno. I feel like that would slip very nicely into my Emerald Steel deck. So I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
It's funny that you're both Emerald Steel girlies right now, but is Emerald your favorite ink?
I think so. It's kind of what I've been using since set one. Set one, I was using like Emerald Amethyst. So I had like the Ursula from that and Genie on the Job and just yeah, all of that good stuff. And then set two, I tried the discard things and didn't like it at that time. But here I am now back to it. But I like it because I'm also doing other things too. Like that isn't
Yeah.
necessarily the sole thing I'm focusing on. So I think I'm pretty much an emerald girl with something.
Yeah.
Emerald plus something. That's what I like to say.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That actually was my number one card too, because I have found that I really like to do mean emerald things. I like discard and set two. But yeah, and we have the new like hidden ink caster in Emerald too, and that's the one that like makes everything in your hand inkable, so that I'm excited to try that. It's scary though to like have like be dependent on an item because if it gets destroyed, but I want to try it.
Yes. I know, me too. Because I feel like that is one of the biggest downfalls of Emerald is that all of our good ones are uninkable. Whereas I feel like in other colors like Ruby, I mean, Maui is inkable. So I just feel like that's not fair to them, like for them to have that and then us not to. But and I feel like even more so with Emerald, it's like a lot of the good ones are uninkable and at that 5 cost slot, like the Belle and Lucifer and Cusco. Like it's unfair because you like can't play all of them. So I'm excited to see how that will work out. But like you said, you have to be dependent upon hoping that they don't have any sort of item removal on their end. And I don't know if people will anticipate that. And if they're playing those colors, then kind of tech for that. But I hope not, because I want to be able to use it. How about you? Are there any cards that you guys are excited about?
Yeah, a couple. I'm always striving for a Amber and Sapphire Princess deck. That is what I play. That is what I default to. That is what I'm always trying to build with. And there's actually like a couple, I guess, upgrades from cards that were previous. Like the new little Aurora is an upgrade from the previous 2-cost Aurora and like stupid stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I feel like for the purpose of what it's going into your deck, like it's not stupid. Like to some people, like they might, say like, oh, I went, but for you, it's like, this is the missing puzzle piece. So like for your deck, like it's more exciting and it's definitely that thing that you've been like, this is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We'll see.
So you have a princess one that you're trying to get and a villain one too?
I just wanted, well, I guess technically it was like started as like a Hades deck with the 2 from set 1. So I'm hoping that we could do that. Honestly, Sapphire and Amber are my favorite colors, if you can't tell.
Love it. Yeah, I think tribal decks are a lot of fun. And I think they're only going to get more popular and more widespread too, as obviously more cards come out. Like, because there are even ones that we don't see any sort of like synergies or anything for yet.
Yeah.
But obviously they're putting that on the card for a purpose. So it has to like deity. Like that has to be
Yes.
coming soon.
Yeah, or mentor. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we got a lot of hero stuff this set.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah. So I have a pet peeve and I'm curious if it bothers more than just me. The the characters that are like the villain's henchmen aren't
Our allies.
yes, right?
Yes.
Why like why are they not villains too? Sure they could be like I don't know. I just don't get it.
What's like a word like henchman or something? Like there should be
Yeah.
like a different thing
Yeah.
for that.
That has been bugging me since like set one. I'm like,
Right.
what are you doing? And I'm like, I wonder if I'm just being like too petty.
Well, I was like trying to make a villains deck. I'm like Flotsam and Jetsam, those are bad guys. It's like, no, they're
Yes.
not. They're our allies.
Yes, like I'm pretty sure they did some evil stuff. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, no, that bugs me. I'm glad you noticed too, because that has
I was
been
like right there. I'm like, yeah.
love it, love it. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Anything else?
Any other pet peeves to share with us?
Oh
Dana?
yeah, we love those.
Stop giving Ruby all the good cards.
Right. Like they need more.
Yeah.
Right.
Make them uninkable. At
Yes.
least.
You cowards.
Yes, I know. And of course, Dalton, that's his favorite color too. So I'm like, ugh, of course you get this card. And he's like, hey. Like, yes, I am salty about that. No, I think the henchman part, that has just been something that's irked me for
Yeah.
I'm glad I got it off my chest. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Anytime. We are happy to be your soapbox anytime you need it.
Love it. Thank you.
Did you have anything to talk about that wasn't pet peeves? Anything else?
Oh, I don't think so. I'm just really excited for the challenges and the new set. And I'm glad that even though it's technically getting released next week, that they're not allowing it to be legal for Atlanta. That way,
Yeah.
it gives people the opportunity to actually acquire it in time.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like also I'm kind of on a roll as far as my comfort level with my deck as it currently is, that I don't think I could go into Atlanta with having to worry about all the new cards anyway. So I'd like to go in with something that have been practicing with, and I'm glad that I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear how it goes for you.
Hopefully I just don't lose all of them. That's my goal still. I just want to win one. And Dalton always downs me for being like, you need to like set your goal higher. And I'm like, no, because like if I do only win one, I don't want to be disappointed. I want to be proud.
Exactly. No, I totally agree. I'm like that as well. I want to make attainable goals and feel good about them. So
Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Dana. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Can you remind everyone where to find you and also plug anything you want to plug?
Yes. So we are on Instagram and Twitter. Well, X. I'm still not used to that, right?
We never will be.
No one calls it.
we always just
Everybody
call it Twitter.
And then YouTube as well as the Inkwell Gamers. We do have a Discord. Gonna try to be more active in it. But yeah, and even on our YouTube too, like we're gonna have a couple of videos coming up soon where we try to do like to mulligan or not mulligan. So we practice basically with a deck. We go over and over. All right, this is what we pulled. This is what we would put back. This is what we would get with our mulligan and how we would maybe do our first 3 turns or something. So we have a couple of those videos coming out soon. So
Awesome.
yeah. Well, thank you guys for having me on. It's been a blast.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I cannot wait to see you in Chicago.
I know. Yes, hopefully we're on the whole cosplay thing. If not, it's totally okay. But
We're probably not going to be, but
It's just getting a little close.
yes. I do have a Disney shirt I will at least wear if not. So
Nice.
I will at
Good
least
deal.
have that. But I know. Yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun. We'll have to hook up when we go to Chicago and coordinate and see if we can get together.
Yeah.
sounds good. That was the interview with Dana.
I did a beautiful dance to that. No one saw it, which is a shame, but
We should do like the 40 Born Boys, do a nice, lovely video odd sometimes. Although Caleb and Katie do too at Hakuna Lorcana. Maybe someday.
Segue. That's our featured creator this week.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yay! We love Katie and Caleb.
Our featured creator is Hakuna Lorcana, a fantastic Lorcana podcast by Caleb and Katie. Each week, Caleb and Katie will do a deep dive on a particular Disney movie and discuss that movie's representation in Lorcana. And wow, do they go deep. They do a ton of research and preparation. I've learned so many interesting facts listening to their podcast. And then in addition to those regular features, they put out a ton of great bonus episodes. Some of them are interviews with other community members. Becky was featured on one. They did a fantastic episode on getting ready for set championships. They did a fantastic episode on lessons learned from set championships. And I know what you're thinking. Katie, you're really saying fantastic a lot. That's because I don't want to undersell how amazing they are. I think Katie and Caleb are awesome. They have such great attitudes, and their podcast does such a great job celebrating this intersection of Disney and TCGs we have in Disney Lorcana.
So be sure to check out Hakuna Lorcana on all your major podcasting platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hakuna Lorcana is kind of hard to say. Props to them for saying it every week.
I love it. Good for them. Yeah, I struggle every time. I like to just call them Katie and Caleb because we are now best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was our show. Hope you guys had a really great Ursula's Return weekend. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter. We're on YouTube. It's just this, but on YouTube. Subscribe where you get your podcasts. And be sure to check out our Discord. It is the place to be.
And until next time, remember to live, laugh, and lore.